Dear students, how are you all? Welcome back to Geography class. Previous class we discussed about underpopulation, impact of underpopulation, population composition and age structure. Today let's study about sex ratio. So what is meant by sex ratio? The sex ratio of a population is the ratio of the number of males to the number of females in a population. It is an important indicator of the socio-economic conditions of a society. So what is meant by socio-economic conditions? It often reveal inequality. So inequality between male and female. Socioeconomic condition often measured as a combination of education, income and occupation. Sex ratio is expressed as the number of females per thousand males. So with regarding to thousand male, female sex ratio is counted. The ideal ratio should be always equal, that is female and male population. The ideal ratio is 1000 females per 1000 males. A low sex ratio indicates the presence of harmful social practices in that area. So what is meant by low sex ratio? Here male population will be more and female population will be less, or sometimes female population will be more and male population is less. It is not equal. So it happens when there are some harmful social practices which is followed in that area or in that country, state, etc. So what are the harmful social practices? Usually we see harmful social practices are practiced with female, like child marriage, which cause complication and death during childbirth. So sex selective abortion, where selective abortion of female fetus is most common, where male children are valued over female children, particularly in countries such as China, India and Pakistan. China and India are the two most popular countries of the world having unbalanced sex ratio. So according to the census of India 2011, there were just 940 females per 1000 males in India. So this low figure is the result of practices like female infanticide and the consistent neglect of the girl child in India. Next is population pyramids. One of the main characteristics of a population is its age-sex composition. We have already learnt about age structure and dependency ratio. So with that and with sex ratio, this pyramid is measured. This information is presented in the form of a population pyramid, also called an age-sex pyramid. It reveals information about the age structure and the sex ratio of any given population. So observe this population pyramid for India based on the statistics provided by the United Nations for 2001. A population pyramid is a graph that shows the age-sex distribution of a given population. It forms of the shape of pyramid when the population is growing. Male are conventionally shown on the left and females on the right. and they may be measured as a percentage of the total population. The x-axis is used to plot population number, whereas the y-axis lists all age groups. So there are different types of population pyramid. An expensive population pyramid shows a population that has a high percentage of younger age groups. It points to the prevalence of high birth rates in the area. So when there is high birth rate, younger generations are more. A constrictive population pyramid shows a low percentage of younger age groups in a population. This indicates declining birth rates. A stationary population pyramid shows an equal proportion of each age group in a population. This means that the population is relatively stable with similar number of deaths and birth. Next is rural urban composition. So which is rural areas? The land that has few homes or other buildings are known as rural areas. An urban area is the region surrounding a city. Rural urban composition studies the distribution of a population between urban areas and rural areas. Let's study about rural area. A rural area is one that lies far away from towns and cities, where the population densities are comparatively lower, where the settlements are small, mostly villages, where activities like agriculture, fishing, and mining are the main occupation, where the infrastructure such as roads, bridges, concrete buildings, and public transport is limited because it has very less settlement. An urban area is one that includes or surrounds a city or a town that has a large population and a high population density. That is, it has many people living close together in a small place. In India, an area has to have a minimum population of 5,000 people with a density of at least 400 persons per square kilometer for it is to be designated urban, where most people are involved in occupations that are non-agricultural in nature, such as manufacturing, trade, transport, and banking. Here we can observe one thing that urban population or urban area has more population density. So they have very less area also. So it is impossible to do activities like agriculture, fishing, and mining. So the population is dependent on other activities like manufacturing, trade, transport, and banking. That has a well developed infrastructure with large buildings, tarred roads, pavements, improved systems of sanitization, and well connected systems of communication. So, this is the difference between rural and urban areas. Rural and urban population vary in many social, economic, and cultural ways. People living in rural areas are generally more closely bound to nature and with each other. People living in cities and towns are usually better off financially than rural people. They also have access to better medicinal and educational facilities. But here, the people are not so closely bound to nature and not bound to each other because people living in urban areas are more busy and they have hectic life. The rural urban composition of a population is an indicator of the economic development of a region. Usually, countries that have a larger percentage of urban population are economically more developed than countries with predominantly rural population. So this is about the chapter population dynamics. Refer textbook. See you in the next class. Thank you.